Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to the next in the personal year series with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. So I know you guys have been patiently waiting, and here it is, the first of the master number vibrations for the personal year. So for your personal year 11, if you don't know what your personal year number is, it's different to your life path number. There is a link floating about somewhere up above. You will see it. It will take you to a video that will show you how to calculate your life path number, your your personal year number, sorry. So with that said, let's get straight into it. For your personal year 11, the tagline is I accept, and the aspect of divinity that I've given to the personal year 11 is divine freedom. It very much is a year to take off the restraints of everyday life. In some way, shape or form, you will want or need to live outside of the current vernacular, outside of what you're used to, outside of what you know. You will have a desire for freedom. You will have a desire to explore new things, to go to new places, to connect with different people, to really, I mean, all of the master number vibrations are very, very spiritual in some way, shape or form. They all come with, just like all of the human numbers as well, which I call the human numbers 1 to 9. Just like those, each one has its own powers and attributes, and they also have their own challenges and drawbacks. So let's have a look at some of the blessings and the lessons that you may experience, traverse, or look for, or experience throughout your personal year 11. So this is a year to be truly humanitarian. This is a powerful year for connecting with people, connecting with the world at large. You will have a knack for knowing what people need, knowing what to say at just the right moment. You will have this sort of balanced energy where you'll be able to see things from a lot of perspectives. You'll be able to mediate very well this year. And when it comes to helping people, when it comes to being there for people, when it comes to anything of that nature, really, you will be all here for it. You'll be totally on board. When it comes to animal rights, when it comes to the environment, when it comes to people, local, you know, like in your locality, maybe even people across the world, when you see causes that really get you in a way, you will feel naturally drawn to do something about it. Courageous. This feeds into the whole freedom aspect. Now, the thing about your personal year 11, it's a master number vibration, right? And I know I haven't talked about the characteristics, but I will do in just a second. But this one is about freedom. It's about what is out there. It's about what else there is, as opposed to what it is that you know. This asks you to go beyond yourself, beyond your own village, tribe, you know, your own set of people. It asks you to go beyond that. And for that reason, it makes you very courageous, even if you're not necessarily the sort of person that you would call, you know, maybe you wouldn't call yourself courageous. Maybe you wouldn't say that you were brave. This year, you could find that courage within you to do what's never been done, to go where you've never seen, to really chase some of your own heart's desires, and especially the ones that are connected to other people or other places. Now, the characteristics of this, the dreamer, definitely. It's a visionary number. This is the number of initiates and the number of initiation itself. I'm going to do a whole separate video about the 1111 phenomena. So spiritual expression. This is about the expression, how you express or show your spirituality, how you present it to the world. This is the number of the seer, you know, people that can see the future, that can envision the future, you know, that can dream the future. All of these things are possible under the vibration of 11. And finally, attainment. And I talk about attainment here because number 9 is the number of enlightenment, right? Where it takes you, because the number 9 looks out. and it looks out upon the master vibrations 11, 22 and 33. So it's always reaching for that higher ideal, that higher goal, whereas 11, you've crossed the threshold of the, you know, the tangible material, and you've moved into the realm of the divine or spirit. And so therefore the number 11 represents attainment, because it's the first master number vibration. So visionary, you know, this ability to really see, you know, this year you could see the gaps in the market. You might discover a niche that nobody else is serving. You might really be able to see what people's needs are. You may very well be able to see the curves and where things are going to go way before anybody else. This number has, you know, after all, 11 is the only master number in the zodiac, ruled by the sign of Aquarius. So visionary, future orientated, the dreamer, all of these things, you know, living outside of, being visionary or seeing the broader or bigger picture. These are all very 11 energies. So visionary, and the blessings are things that will enhance your year, things that might come really easily to you, things that might be instilled in you over the course of this year. And your lessons are the things that you may express if you're unconscious of how to use this energy, which, I mean, if you're watching this video, then you've got a heads up, right? So intuitive and psychic, the number 11, the seer, is a very powerful intuitive year, very powerful spiritual year. I remember my last 11 year, and while it did have some challenges, it's probably one of my favorite years yet. I really enjoyed my last 11 year because I learned so much about my own spirituality. I developed my intuition and my spiritual gifts beyond what I even thought was possible at the time. It was just a really profound year for me. So I love this personal year. So if you're having an 11 year, it's awesome. Just ride the wave. So yeah, intuitive and psychic. You could have a lot of hunches this year. Your intuition could steer you in certain directions. It will really speak to you. So pay attention to it this year and discover how it speaks to you, because it's not the same for everybody. You know, I know some clairvoyants who will literally see a film, you know, and play out in their minds. And then I know other clairvoyants who will see just symbols and they know what those specific symbols mean. Intuition works differently for everybody. It's not the same. Powerful. It's a master number vibration. You have a lot of power, the power to persuade, the power to dream, the power to convince people to believe in your dreams. You know, you will have a presence about you, even if you're, you know, maybe you call yourself a wallflower or somebody that's, you know, tends to be a bit quieter or a bit more behind the scenes. And if you are one of those people and you constantly choose that energy, this year will thrust you in the limelight in some way, shape or form. So you know, probably people like your Capricorns and your Scorpios can struggle with this number because it puts you out there in the limelight and you don't really have a choice to go back behind the curtain. It puts you on the stage in some way, shape or form. You know, it pulls the curtain pulls the curtain back for you, and you can't really get out of it. Talented. All of your talents and skills, develop them this year. All of your talents and skills will be speaking to you in a big way. They will be, you know, they'll be really wanting the best and brightest from you, which is brilliant. It's really powerful. And all of the talents that you do have, you will notice that they just come easier and that you're better at them, that you have more of a gift or a knack for it this year. Use it to your advantage. Inspired. You could be yourself, divinely inspired, idea after idea. Always keep a pen and a pad handy, or, you know, at least use the voice notes on your phone when you have an idea and it comes in quickly. Get it down on paper or get it onto a voice note. And the reason being is because when that happens, it tends to be divinely sort of channeled. It's something that just kind of pops in, and if you forget it, or, you know, once it's gone, it's kind of gone. So whatever those ideas or tangents are that come to you, get them down. Prophetic. This could be a year where your dreams show you pretty much everything. You could be really, you know, you could speak things and they just come to pass. This is a year for you to really Be very conscious of what you say as well. This is not a year for you to say things in jest. And I've given so many explanations of that, so I won't go into it. And then finally, masterful. Like whatever you turn your hand at this year, you could do really, really well. This is where you go from the novice or the initiate or the adept to the, to the level of master. If you truly embrace this energy, you do the work and you show up, this could be, where you take your talent, skills, gifts, all the rest of it to the next level. So for your lessons, these are the unconscious uses of this energy and how it might show up. There's only few of them, but if you look at them, they're quite heavy, right? And this is, in my personal understanding, when you see the master number vibrations being used for selfish or nefarious purposes, they tend to really go wrong. And the problem with that is, it's like anything in the world, it can be used for light or dark. And the problem with master number vibration energy, when it is used for dark, it goes horribly, horribly wrong. Not just for the people on the receiving end of whatever somebody's putting out there, but for the person that's using that energy in a subversive manner. It tends to bite you in the butt. Like, you might think you've got away with it at first, but it will turn on you. And when it does, it can be pretty gnarly. So I would caution against that. So dangerous, right? If you're this persuasive, if you're this powerful, if you're this able to convince people that they should do something or rally behind you, and you decide to use that power for a dark or nefarious purpose, it can be really bad. It could really not be very nice at all. Uncaring, right? It's the antithesis. And this is a thing as well, with most of the numbers, you can kind of see, like, there's a bit of a sliding scale. The master number vibrations tend to come with extremes, so when it's here, it's completely cold, completely uncaring, no warmth, malevolent, just plain dark, really dark, malevolent. There could be a real sense of judgy sort of behavior, and maybe not even condescending, like beyond condescending, like where you look at people and they're beneath you. This can be a really heavy energy if it's misused or if it's not used consciously. So be aware of this. Secretive, the 11 wants to be out there, right? It will put you out on stage. If you deliberately try to hide, or you're doing things that you should be hiding because they're not above board, you'll become very, very secretive, possibly very closed off. People might wonder who you've become or what you're about now, because they don't really know who you are anymore. These are things that you can see and observe underneath that, underneath this energy. Dark, let's call a spade a spade. It is what it is. It's kind of like, and the reason, I think my understanding of it is, if you've got this, pure divine energy, and don't get me wrong, I believe that sometimes the divine allows certain things to happen to teach us a lesson. Some people might say that that's dark. Don't get me wrong, everything has its opposite shade. And I'm not saying that the divine numbers are just pure love and light, because they're really not. They're here to shape things and change things. And sometimes that requires uncomfortable. But if you misuse that energy, you're taking it away from its original purpose, which is growth, movement, change, evolution, attainment. And if you're subverting that energy, then what it turns into is something sort of adverse to its original purpose. Unkind, just unkind, cruel even is probably a closer word to it. And subversive, this ability to just, want to pervert things and, twist things. And you might even find as well, if you're unconscious about this energy, you could turn into a bit of a fibber. You could find yourself talking lies this year. So it's a really big one. And it's funny because when I had my last 11 year, as soon as I went into that year, and I'd done a bit of research about it, but my big understanding was this was a year for true spirituality and developing the gifts that I had already. And that was what I did. I put my nose in books. I found spiritual teachers and mentors. I did the work, and I went really deep into it. And at certain points, I have to be honest, there were moments where I came up against things in my ego, in my character, in my behavior, that I was like, oh, Raf, I don't like that about me. And you know what? I'm going to change it. That's not a way for you to behave. And when this stuff comes up, I expect you to check yourself. I did that work and it wasn't always easy. Like I said, the 11 year comes with some challenges, but I tell you what, it was so worth it. And the foundation that it gave me for the work that I do now was incredible. I could never, like, you know, that's why I say it was definitely one of my favorite years ever, because it really helped me achieve a lot. So, got my trusty notes here. This is a year 2. Use your knowledge and skills to help others. This is a year for you to travel, but travel for a purpose. Go on a pilgrimage, go on a spiritual journey, go and see other cultures, go backpacking, go and see the world, go and see how other people live, what other people's needs are. And this is a big part of it, because this is how you may discover your niche. Maybe you'll discover how to serve a market that isn't even being looked at the moment, or nobody even knows of. Move into teaching or mentoring or coaching, or find a teacher, find a mentor, find a coach, find somebody that is going to help you make the best of yourself and all of the things that you hold within you, all of your gifts, all of your attributes, all of your blessings, all of your lessons, even how to transcend them, how to push past them, how to look at them and say, okay, you know what, I still love myself, but this needs to change. Study music, art, literature, read, you know, digest knowledge, take things in that are going to nourish your mind and soul. This is a really good year for things like that. Discover and begin working towards your purpose. This is really, really important one. Discover what it is that makes you you, and discover what it is that you feel like you are here to do. What it is that really, you know, excites you or gets you passionate. Discover what you love, what you truly love, what feels like it is the right thing for you to be doing at this moment in time. Develop and practice your intuitive abilities and gifts. I cannot stress this one enough. If you know that you have a psychic, intuitive or spiritual gift, and we all do, it's just how conscious we are or are not of them. If you have any of those and you know about it, it is your sacred duty in your personal year 11 to work hard, and I mean hard, at developing that gift. And not just at developing your spiritual gift, but developing your mind, your soul, you know, not subjugating, because that's a really poor word actually. Finding a way to work with your ego to diminish its hold on you. The clearer you are of your own internal stuff, baggage, angers, hates, fears, all the rest of it, the clearer you are as a channel for whatever divine intuitions or intelligence wants to come through you. That is what I'm talking about. Do the work on your gifts and the work on yourself, and you will be a greater seer, mystic, spiritual worker, light worker, starseed, whatever you want to call yourself. You will be even better at all of those things and whatever your attributes are if you do this work. Take a pilgrimage or go on a spiritual quest. If there's somewhere that your spirit has always said to you, one day I need to visit that place, one day I want to bathe in those waters, one day I want to see that mountain, one day I want to, your personal year 11, set it up. If you can't make it happen in this year, at least plan to make it happen for the year after. You know, just make sure that you kind of focus on that or get in there. Interestingly enough, I didn't actually plan the trip, but in my last 11 year, I was taken to Morocco. And I tell you, the spiritual experiences I had on that trip were immense. Like, I mean, I can't, because I just had, it was literally one of my favorite years, as you can see from the smile. And I told you, it wasn't easy. It really wasn't. But I tell you what, it was one of the most amazing years of my life, I have to say. Be okay with being a loner, an outsider, or seeking. Feeling like you're looking for something but you can't quite picture or put your finger on what. There's that wanderlust that will take over you this year. This need to discover, this need to know, this need to connect to the wider world in some way, shape or form. Follow it. If you wake up at 2s and 3s in the morning, natural for this number, follow it. Get up, go and look at the stars or the world while it's that quiet, while there's something you know, still about the world. Maybe just lay in bed and listen to what your body is saying. Are there any internal sounds or feelings that are coming through? This is a year to discover your own superpowers. This is a year to discover what is truly special about you, and to own it as well. It's not enough just for you to say, oh, well, you know, I'm good at this. No, know that you are good at it, and know that you are good at it for a reason. Own it. Claim your own spiritual, physical, tangible, mental, emotional. Claim your superpowers, because they're going to be vital and important for what you do going forward. All of this stuff tends to be revealed to the people that do the work in the personal year 11. And my last one, I think, was 10 or 11 years ago. So I might be due for another one soon. All right, check your own motives and ethics. This is a really important one. Get into grips with, you know, what are your motives? What are the reasons that you do things? You know, why? Why do you do things? Are you doing things above board? Are you a person of moral fiber, standards, and courage? What does that mean to you? You know, it's not about what I think it is, it's about what you think it is. Can you look yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, you know what, I'm living right? It's a big question. This is a year for you to study the occult arts and sciences, astrology, tarot, numerology, Kabbalah, I Ching, what else? Human design, all of these things. Anything that has an occult or spiritual sort of nature or foundation to it, this is a year to study those things. Brainstorm, create, invent, everything. And this is a big year for ideas. It's a big year for inspirations. They won't become anything this year, and that's the thing that you need to understand about it, because business isn't really favored in an 11 year or starting new things. It's a year to gather those things, to gather the ideas, to have the brilliant idea. It's not the year to create them, right? So save whatever it is that comes to you in this year for a later date. Do all of the prep that precedes starting a business. So lay the foundations, put the feelers out, get the paperwork, get the license, set up the domain name, all of that sort of stuff you can do, but don't move ahead with it until you enter into a different vibration. Be easy and gentle, but playful with yourself and with life itself. This is a year where life itself will initiate you. And I cannot stress that enough. I could spend like literally an hour talking about that one sentence. But just know that this year, the universe and life itself are initiating you into your next phase of being. Be childlike in your approach to everything and anything. Look at everything and everyone with the eyes of a child, with childlike wonder. If you can do that, you will be doing it right. Find and create your own balance. Balance the spiritual and the practical and the tangible aspects of your life, and find a way to do that. Really find a way to marry the spiritual with the practical, with the tangible. If you do that, you'll be doing it in the best ways for yourself, especially. So, key piece of advice. What is the key piece of advice for a person in an 11 year? Do for others as much as you can, and rewards will be great. And that is it in a nutshell, for whether it's the 11, the 22 or the 33. If you are doing things for other people, if you are serving the wider world, if you are serving your community, if you are serving humanity in some way, shape or form, your rewards, your riches, your fame, all the rest of it will come, and it will be all the greater and brighter for it. If, however, you use this for selfish and nefarious purposes and think little about others, it will turn on you. It's just like I said, do not abuse this power, because it will turn on you. It just seems that is the way with the master number vibrations. As an example, you might do really well with something, you know, that's all about self, that doesn't really take anybody else into account, but eventually it will burn you out. And then you'll think, oh, you know what, I either need to start again, or I can't continue like this, or do you know what I mean? Find ways of serving the world, of being in the world, of being connected to other people and the world at large. And you will be going in the direction that is going to serve not only others for their highest vibrational good, but for you as well. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff, whether you're watching this today, tomorrow, next year, or 50 years from now. I truly hope that it serves you, and I hope that your personal year 11 is your absolute best yet. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.